Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and it's Women's History Month, and I'm here today to talk to you about Class of '07. This is a very unique and interesting take on a post-apocalyptic show. It's an Australian comedy drama show, and it's on Amazon Prime. It came out in March of 2023. I just now got to see it and everything. It's created by Casey Annie, and it stars a couple of people, names that I recognize, not like Emily Browning and Caitlin Stacy. I remember Emily from Sucker Punch, even though I haven't seen that yet, but I've seen the action clips. But I remember her from a series of unfortunate events, and Caitlin I remember from Rain. And so like I knew those two going in, and I remember I was on YouTube and the trailer came out and I watched it. I'm like, okay, this is kind of interesting. I don't really understand like what's going on, but it'll be like intriguing to watch. It's kind of like The Wilds, but not as dramatic, and it's a lot more comedic. There's comedy every 3 to 5 minutes. And for the most part, it doesn't take itself seriously. However, there are some really thought-provoking, dramatic stuff that happens in the series, and they do touch on that, but then they always end it with a little humor. So it's like these serious moments you really can't like dive deep into because it's, a comedy. It's 30 minutes and there are 8 episodes. And like I said before, it's on Amazon Prime. And it's a pretty cool series. I wish there was a little bit more explanation as to how the world became flooded because they've never explained that. It ends on a cliffhanger. As of the recording of this video, it has not been canceled and it has not been renewed. However, Wikipedia just has it as like a 2023 release. So here's fingers crossed, like all these female-led shows don't do very well. And this is a female-led show. And no, I know this is not Women's like History Month or nothing like that, but I'm recording it now because I don't want to have to wait all the way till like March or something like that. And it's only a couple of months away. I really had a good time watching this series. Like, it's very funny and everything. Like, I really, I knew it was a comedy, but I wasn't expecting it to be, like, this hilarious. It's well acted. I had no idea Emily Browning was funny. Like, I've seen her in dramatic stuff, but I've never seen her in anything quite like this. However, it was very distracting because she looks similar to this one British actress from Ackley Bridge. I forget her name is Deacon something. And she looks so much like that actress. Another person who kept throwing me off a lot was this one actress. God, what is her name? I don't know her name. Emma Horn. I've never seen her before, but she looks like Julianne Hough from Dancing with the Stars. So it kept throwing me off. And Steph Tisdale, who plays Phoebe, she kept throwing me off because she looks like a couple of different women I've seen before as well. And what's so crazy about this show is like, it reminds you of The Wilds because basically something terrible happens and it's a group of women who have to survive on their own. And what's crazy about that is that there's an actress from The Wilds in this. Chen Wen. She's from The Wilds, but she wasn't in every episode because her character died very early on. But you see her like in flashbacks and stuff like that. So it's kind of crazy how she's both in these type of series, and they're slightly similar to each other. And so like, I really had like a great time with this show. It's well diverse. There's different races all here and there. There's a black actress, Asian, indigenous, Indian, and then a couple of other ones that I'm not really sure what this other woman is. And of course there's white. And so, however, there's like a problem I do have with this. Okay, so it's like, okay, there's a couple of background characters, right? And you never really get to see them. You only get to hear from them maybe once or so. One is a black girl, other ones are different races and stuff. And so the thing about this, there are two characters that seem so oddball, they seem out of place. It's the black actress and the Asian actress who are there for, well, everybody's there for comedic relief, but they're there for like stupid comedic relief. Basically, they feel out of place in the show because their characters are like alcoholic stoners and stuff. And so what makes them feel so out of place is that they're always on their own, getting drunk or like, getting high. And they're not really contributing to the rest of like, the group. And so it's really odd because like they're just constantly getting high and everything. And they just feel so out of place and out of whack with the show because they're just totally just like stoned and drunk like the entire time, while everybody else is trying to make civilization for themselves stuck on like this mountaintop. But then it's towards the end that like, they start contributing only because there's like a viral outbreak from like eating bad fish, and the girls get so hungry they want to sacrifice somebody to eat. And the black girl is the one they pick out of all people. And so I don't get that, And so it does kind of sucks because like the white stars, they're front and center of the entire show. And like, the two, well, the one Indian and the one indigenous girl, they're there. The Indian girl is kind of just like, every once in a while she'll bop in and out. Mainly for more comic relief because her toe got missing. But then it's like the black and the Asian character are barely in the show because they're always on their own doing like, getting high and stoned. And it's just like so odd. Now there is an American character, but she's played by an Australian actress. And so she's just using a fake accent. Oh my God, they made her the worst character in the entire show. I truly feel like the creator, who's also the writer of this show, I think she might hate America. Like you kind of get that feeling, It's kind of like Dairy Girls, an Irish show that depicts, a time during the Troubles. And that was, Ireland and Britain weren't getting along. And they constantly kept making fun of Britain and stuff. And that's because, like, in one of the actresses, she just doesn't like Britain, period. Even though she has a British co-star and stuff. So I'm kind of getting that vibe here to where the creator kind of doesn't like America. Because the American girl, Sandy, is obnoxious. She's greedy. She's selfish. She's rude. She's nasty. All she cares about is like, herself. And then it's like, and then so like when she gets adrift and comes back, then she's want nothing but revenge. And she wants to like kill people and stuff. And it's just like, she is the worst character in the entire thing. And she ate somebody when she was out adrift. It's like, she's the worst of the worst. She's worse than the actual mean queen bee girl played by Caitlyn and stuff. Because at least Caitlyn's character can say, I tried to keep everybody together and everything. But it's crazy because it's like the American girl is like the worst of the worst. I don't like why did you have to do that for? And stuff. It reminds me so much of Dairy Girls when they did that to James and stuff. And so like the characters are just like insane. So basically these are the characters. Zoe, who's played by Emily Brownie, and basically she's a rejected reality girl who is very selfish, only kind of like thinks about herself, but then she also thinks about other people and tries to help people out. But she is a screw up who's always screwing things up for people. Amelia, and she doesn't really want to be at the reunion. She's suffers from depression. She needs her anti-depression pills. She gets to the point where she literally just wants to die and want everybody else to die with her. It's implied that she might be a closeted lesbian, but they never state it. You have to like look for the clues and stuff on the show, because her best friend used to be Zoe. And one day when she was a teenager, she went into the bathroom and she didn't know who Zoe was. And Zoe's all like, can you do me a favor? Can you just sniff my hair for me? Because I think something was in her hair. And so she sniffed it. And so after the flashbacks in the modern day, Zoe, those two haven't seen each other in like 10 years. And she's all like, come on, you know, you want to sniff my hair like you used to. And then when she sniffs it, Guinevere gives her the look and everything. And so then after that, it's just her and Zoe just can't get along. And there's always this tension between those two. And it's revealed she got kicked out of Catholic school because something got revealed about her. And so she had to leave, and that's why she lost contact with everybody. And so like the nun lady who shows up later on in the series, she said, you know, it's because her mother died. That's why she had to leave. And nobody knew that. But I think it was more than that, because she literally told Caitlin, you stole Zoe from me and I've never forgiven you for that. So I think it is implied that like she secretly likes her, but it won't reveal it. And basically her life just went to crap because she didn't live out her goals, and she's a peanut farmer and everything. A peanut farmer, that's it. Saska, who is played by Caitlin Stasey, she is the queen bee. Basically, when she was they're at their high school reunion, and they went to a Catholic school. So when she was a teenager, she made everybody's life a nightmare there. Like, she is the worst of the worst, except for the American girl. But she is just mean and rude and nasty and everything. And so she takes it upon herself to be leader, but she micromanages and everything. And she's just like a cruel type person. So then there's Guinevere, the goody two shoes, who has a problem pooping in like a restroom around other people. She has to go where she's completely by herself. And like, you know, she's just like a goody two shoes. Renee is their nurse doctor type person on the show. She lied talking about she's like a doctor in real life, but really she don't know nothing. Even to the point of when this one girl toe got messed up, instead of taking the nail off, she took the whole toe off and everything. But really what she is a nail technician. And so she just pretty much like floats around pretending to be like a doctor. Even when she's found out, she's still pretending to be like a doctor. Penelope is the smoker and the blackmailer. She loves blackmailing people. And so, like, when she finds out something bad, she keeps it to herself because she wants to blackmail Caitlin. And pretty much, like, in order to keep the power on at the place, they have to run on treadmills and, like, you know, power up the batteries, like car batteries and stuff. Where the school got so many car batteries, I have no idea. It's never explained. And so, like, basically, she extorts them and stuff. Like, she wants something in return, so they'll charge up a battery, give it to her, and she'll give them things they need. Medicine, a tampon, like, you name it. And so, like, the thing about her is that she grew up never watching TV, so now all she wants to do is watch TV. One of the reasons why she wants all these batteries is so she can use it to power up her laptop and watch TV. Teresa, she is the one who got her toe chopped off. Basically, it's implied that she's married and her eggs are at some kind of fertilization place. And so when the world went under, pretty much so did like her eggs. There's nothing really much about her other than she was friends with the American girl, but like she never stopped the other girl from making fun of the American girl. And so like when Zoe dropped something on her foot's so messed up that her toenail needs to come off, but instead Renee takes the entire toe off. When the toe comes off, my God, it is hilarious. It's nasty and disgusting, but it's hilarious and stuff, especially when they shoved it in somebody's mouth. Megan and Tegan are the two stoners, and so basically they are the ones who are just always getting stoned like 24/7. And so it's revealed during confession when they wrote something in a time capsule that Tegan says she doesn't want Megan to be her only friend. And the reason why is because Megan is an alcoholic. Basically, when alcohol spills on the floor, she tries to like drink it up. Laura is the forgetful one. They always forget her. Every time she tries to talk, they like interrupt her or won't let her finish. And they thought she was dead and they didn't even go to her pretend funeral. Stuff like that. Sandy is the American one. She's obnoxious, she's rude, she's nasty. Basically, when she was a teenager at school, everybody made fun of her just for the sake of making fun of her. And that's what caused her to be so rude towards them. She was a foreign exchange student who was only there for a year. And so, like, Teresa was her friend, but never tried to stop the other girls because of peer pressure. So she decided to make the class reunion, even though she lives in, like, America. Basically, when she's complaining so much that, what's her name, Saska and Zoe got tired of her. So when she pretty much had like a nervous breakdown and slept on a raft boat, they decided to push her out to sea just as a joke. But they decided, screw her, we're tired of her. And she stays out in the ocean. They can't find her. And they pretend like, you know, she just went off on her own. And so basically she was out to sea for like 3 or 4 months surviving off seagulls and stuff. And when she comes back, she's different. She's wearing different clothes. Her like her boat is like completely pimped out. So she had help from somebody. So the whole world did not die. Then it turns out she's a couple of months pregnant because she met some survivors, but the people she met aren't so friendly and everything. Basically, when she comes back, she tries to like kill everybody and stuff, or at least kill the two that try to like maroon her and stuff. And it's revealed she ate a person. Sister Becky is the nun at like, you know, the school, and she shows up halfway there because it's revealed she was hiding out and she had tons of food and supplies because her house is on the other side of the campus and stuff. And so it turned out that she knew all along that Saska was dating one of the male teachers there. And Saska always held a grudge against that. And she told her, I knew he was doing it to you, and I knew he was doing it to other girls, but I tried to protect you by putting you all in detention. Because that was the only thing she could do, because, you know, she was a woman and a nun, and she couldn't, like, you know, I guess he had, like, higher power and stuff. So basically, Saska always hated getting detention. That's why she always hated that sister lady. And so basically, if they used to meet up at a certain place on campus, which was out of bounds. If they went there out of bounds at a certain time, she would put them in detention. She constantly kept putting girls in detention, hoping, you know, it would prevent that man from like, you know, trying to like kiss on them and date them and like, you know, lie to them, talking about groom them and all kind of stuff like that. Later on in the series, she gives up her nunhood and just starts dressing like a normal person. She makes the joke about them eating people, and that what gives the girls the idea of wanting to eat them. Why? Because Sandy burnt down all the food out of revenge. I'm telling you, she's like evil. Okay, so I got the character of Guinevere and Amelia mistaken when I do like this long summary thing. I got their names right when I did their individual pictures. When I do like the long summary, just know that Guinevere is Amelia and Amelia is Guinevere. What is this a post-apocalyptic series? What is the apocalyptic thing? Well, basically, after Zoe gets booted from a reality show, she goes back home. And she notices something. The ground is cracking open and water is gushing out. She decides to go to the evacuation center, which she thinks is on the top of a mountain at her old Catholic school. During this time, they're having their class reunion. She didn't want to go. And so when she tries to tell everybody, nobody will listen to her because they're just like having a good time. So she says, screw it, and decides to get drunk and high. Only then it's revealed that when they go outside, now remember, they're on top of a mountain. That's where the school is at. There's water flooded everywhere. Water is literally like they're at the beach. The mountain top is like the beach sand and everything else is the ocean. Basically, in theory, what I'm assuming is the polar ice caps melted and flooded the entire, well, at least all of Australia and stuff. They don't know about the rest of the world. So they're stuck there on top of the mountaintop on basically a new island and everything. And they're blaming her because they're all like, you knew all this and didn't tell us. And they're like, look, we tried. Like, I tried to tell y'all, but y'all didn't want to listen. So I went to go have a good time. And so basically they realize, okay, look, weeks are passing by, they're gonna have to survive. They ration out what little food they have, but they don't have much. They end up fishing, but the fish ends up becoming contaminated. There are no working toilets except for one, and that's the one that Amelia kept hidden in everything. So they have to like dig outhouses out, and they really have to rough it. And so Guinevere tells, like, Saska, it's time for you to be the queen bee again. So she does. And when Saska was trying to get away from that lifestyle. And so she starts micromanaging. She forces them to do everything. She forces Guinevere and a couple of others to create electricity because they're the smartest ones at the school. And so if they don't do it, they don't get to eat. And they only have to pass around one fish to eat. So basically, after getting some science books, this and that, they're able to build like electronic units and stuff to like build lights and get the radio working. It turns out Zoe's pretty good at engineering. She can build boats and she can build a radio. And so but she's always squandering at first her chance to get help. She's pretending to be like a DJ host, and then the thing short circuits when they had the generator before they had built the electricity. After that, she's the only one who knows how to work it, so she's the only one looking for help. And so basically, but the first two episodes are really good. Halfway in the middle, it starts to die out and become a little too overly silly and a little dumb. And because it's kind of like, you have to survive. And so Saska is literally having them energize all these car batteries on exercise bikes. And it's kind of like, why are they killing themselves and they have no food to eat? And the reason for that is because she wants their hair to look good every day and power up their hair products and stuff like that, the curling iron and crap. And they're all like, why? And of course she's like, when we get rescued, we have to look good and all this stuff. I'm just kind of like, are you serious? Like, what the world, man? So Amelia decides to rebel against that, which causes Saska to make her eat the fish eyes only. And so basically, Sandy, of course, is missing because they put her out to sea. They thought, okay, it's been like a month, she must be dead now. Well, here's the thing. Phoebe, I think her name is. Yeah, Phoebe. Phoebe knew what Saska and Zoe did because she was outside. But she didn't tell nobody until the time was right. To blackmail, of course. So then there's a trial, which Amelia is leading because she hates that of Saska. Basically, at first they want to kill her, then they want to maroon her, then they want to chop off all her hair. So they have like a little court trial. Zoe is keeping her mouth shut. She doesn't want to be like implicated in this whatsoever, even when there's an eyewitness and stuff. And Zoe wrote a fake note pretending to be Sandy. Only problem is she misspelled certain words because, see, American English and Australian English is different, and we spell realize completely different than European people do. They spell it with the S, we spell it with a Z. And so that's how Amelia knew somebody had wrote a fake note and stuff. Basically, they start to chop off like Amelia's hair because she had the toilet and didn't tell nobody. And they also, chopped off some of the hair of like Saska. And so basically, because they knew Sandy would never leave without her little pink, expensive like tote bag and everything. And so when Phoebe found it, she knew that somebody ended up killing her. Well, at some point in time, the two stoners, they find like Sister, what is it? I say her name was Becky or something like that. Yeah, Bicky. That's weird. Anyway, Sister Bicky. And so it turns out she has tons of food and supplies they need. And so they're living pretty good until Sandy comes back and burns down all their food. And then she tries to kill Saska and Zoe. Literally stabs Zoe in the back, and there's a knife sticking out of her for a full day. And she wants to kidnap Teresa for some bizarre reason. And the reason why is because she's pregnant and she wants Teresa to raise her child since Teresa's embryos are now gone. She later reveals that, well, before she reveals that there are people who survive, she told everybody that everybody's dead. And so this is where Guinevere, who's out of antidepressants, is kind of like, you know what? We don't have a whole month or 4 months or whatever to wait for these crops to grow. So why don't we just end it, like have one big blowout party and just starve and die. They're all on board with that until it's revealed that Sandy is pregnant. So she had to get knocked up by some dude, and then she reveals that there are people alive, but there aren't many because pretty much everything is down below. And there's a place called Scuba City where it's kind of like these pirate guys. They will literally go down below and back into the city that's underwater and scoop and get like whatever they need and sell it to you. And if you don't pay them back, you die and stuff. And so she said they're really dangerous people. But some of the girls realized that, we need to go out and look for them. So all the background characters decide one morning to take all the boats and just leave, which leaves our main cast. Because really in the show, you just constantly see the main cast. You really don't see the background characters. And you always wonder where they're at. So this is a great way to get rid of them. Well, basically, it's time to eat somebody. And I still can't believe they were going to sacrifice and eat someone. So it was supposed to be Tegan, but then Guinevere is all like, since I want to die anyway, might as well just eat me. Zoe don't want her to die, so she knocks her out, put her on a boat that Sandy made, and tells her to bike out to sea and find some people and stuff. And so at some point Guinevere had a change of heart and went and got Zoe because she knew that since the food was going to be leaving, it was Zoe's fault, and so she needed to come too. By this time they had no idea what was going on the other side of the island. Some guys contacted the radio, and so when they did, they met up on the mountaintop to meet the girls. And so the guys say something dumb like, we can't wait for you women to go in the kitchen and start cooking us up some food. Can we hang with y'all? Now they have a motorized boat. At first the girls were happy because they're people and they can get off the island with the boat, but then they realized by the way the guys were talking to them that they're hungry. So it's implied a couple of things at the end. The girls start picking up bricks and sticks and everything, and they charge towards the guys. Either they're gonna kill the guys and take their motorized boat and leave the island, or they're gonna eat them and take their boat and stuff. So yeah, this is a really kooky show, and it's pretty fun. You will literally laugh and everything. But I really do, when it gets to the touchy feeling emotional stuff, I wish to God they would take that a little bit more seriously on the show and really hit your heart with it, because it's hard to take it seriously when they just end up with a joke about 5 seconds later after giving you something emotional. Happy Women's History Month, everybody. All right, well, I'll talk to you later. Bye.